What's up? Welcome out to Nowstalgia. Dave here with my 2024 Emmy predictions. The Emmys were supposed to have happened already. The Emmys would have happened in September if it wasn't for the Hollywood strike. So as a result, the Emmys were delayed and are now taking place on January 15th. And I actually kind of like this change, to be honest, where you have the Emmys quickly followed by the Golden Globes and the Grammys and the Oscars in about a 3-ish month span. I kind of like all the awards happening at the same time. And I would kind of root for the Emmys to keep this because, the old model of having it in September was largely based on the fall spring TV calendar, which is not really important to anyone these days. Obviously, it still matters to broadcast TV shows, but the average viewer doesn't really care about something like that, obviously, with streaming shows coming out throughout the year. And the Emmys don't have much cultural cachet. They're the least important, or at least celebrated, least viewed of the major award shows. So perhaps riding some coattails of the other stuff, would be wise. Then again, the Golden Globes also honor TV. Maybe they want some distance from that. I'm not sure. After all, the Golden Globes are a joke. Why be afraid of them? Nonetheless, I'm going to give my Emmy predictions for the core categories, the 3 series categories, then the actor, supporting actor, actress, supporting actress for all 3, types: comedy, drama, limited series. And, I did my Emmy nomination predictions back when the nominations dropped, and I reacted to the nominations when those came out. So check those out if you want more insight. For this, I'm really just going to kind of go through my picks. And of course, make sure you subscribe and come back because I'll be reacting to the results when the Emmys actually do take place on January 15th. So unsurprisingly, HBO and Netflix lead the way once again in terms of total nominations. But let's get into the predictions. So we'll start with comedy. Outstanding comedy series, we have Abbott Elementary, Barry, The Bear, Jury Duty, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Only Murders in the Building, Ted Lasso, and Wednesday. Nice grouping of various networks and streamers there. I think overall this is a pretty obvious one. This is going to The Bear. This would be The Bear Season 1, by the way, which is nominated this year. And you look at this category, you have Ted Lasso, which won for its first 2 seasons, the last 2 times. And also Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which won way back for its first season, a while back at this point. And, I guess in theory, you could perhaps say Abbott Elementary is in the mix here, having won other lower awards last time around. And Ted Lasso, can't rule it out for going 3 for 3 with its final season here, I guess. But I think it's kind of obvious that The Bear, its time is now. This is kind of hilarious and on brand for the Emmys that just like Barry, you have The Bear nominated in the comedy category, despite the fact that that's a very dramatic and serious show where it's kind of being nominated in the comedy category because it has funny moments, but really because it's a half-hour series. But it's a half-hour drama. That's sometimes funny, to be honest. Whatever, that's what happens. That's what they've been doing for a while now. Going to the acting in the comedy categories, we have lead actor in the comedy series. We have Bill Hader for Barry, Jason Segel for Shrinking, Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building, and Steve Martin is not nominated this year, Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso, and Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. Of course, previously in this category, Sudeikis won the last 2 times, and Bill Hader also won twice before as well in these roles. I think you can't rule those guys out, but I would say it's The Bear's time once again, and Jeremy Allen White very deservingly should win for The Bear as his role as Carmy. What a fantastic show, what a fantastic performance. That's my pick. Outstanding lead actress in a comedy series, we have Christina Applegate in Dead to Me, Rachel Brosnahan in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Quinta Brunson in Abbott Elementary, Natasha Lyonne in Poker Face, and Jenna Ortega in Wednesday. Brosnahan won this way back for Maisel Season 1. This is the last time Applegate can be nominated, last time Brosnahan can be nominated. I would keep those in mind. I think it should be Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary. She, of course, won for comedy writing last time around. People remember the speech. But she's also a great comedic actor in her own right. So I think that's the pick, but wouldn't be shocked if there's kind of an upset here. Natasha Lyonne, probably not for Poker Face on Peacock, but, she's kind of been someone who's been a darling at times, albeit in a smaller degree. But yeah, I think it's safe to just go with Brunson here. Let's go to supporting actor for comedy. We have Anthony Carrigan for Barry, Phil Dunster for Ted Lasso, Brett Goldstein for Ted Lasso, James Marsden for Jury Duty, Evan Moss Baccarat for The Bear, Tyler James Williams for Ed Elementary, and Henry Winkler for Barry. Previously, Goldstein won the last 2 times for Lasso, and then Henry Winkler won once for Barry. This is an interesting one where I don't have a good feel for this totally. I could see Goldstein going 3 for 3. I could see Evan Moss Baccarat winning for The Bear, which is probably my favorite of the choices here. If The Bear has a big night, that wouldn't be too shocking. I could see James Marsden making a surprise for Jury Duty, which overall, the Amazon Freebie series came out of nowhere. Big surprise. It's hard to say. Anthony Carrigan. Not really. I mean, he's the funniest aspect of Barry. It would be cool if he won. I'll go with Emmy Moss Baccarat, but I'm not super confident. Tyler James Williams for Abbott Elementary is also there. Wouldn't be shocked. It's a tough one. I think Outstanding Supporting Actress of Comedy Series is a bit less tough, though. We have Alex Borstein for Maisel, Ayo Idabiri for The Bear, Janelle James for Abbott Elementary, Cheryl Lee Ralph for Abbott Elementary, Juno Temple and Hannah Waddingham for Ted Lasso, and Jessica Williams for Shrinking. Last year, Cheryl Lee Ralph won for Abbott, and previously, Hannah Waddingham has won for Ted Lasso, and Alex Borstein has won twice for Maisel. So you have 3 previous winners in the same roles for this category, and can't rule any of them out, especially Cheryl Lee Ralph having won last year. But I think this is a very safe call for Ayo for The Bear. Tremendous performance, super deserving. That's what I want to see, and that's what I think will happen as well. So that is comedy. Let's go to drama. Outstanding drama series. We have Andor on Disney+, Better Call Saul, the final season on AMC, The Crown, not the final season, the penultimate season on Netflix, House of the Dragon on HBO, Last of Us on HBO, Succession, the final season on HBO, White Lotus Season 2 on HBO, and Yellow Jackets, Showtime. It's going to be HBO, don't you think? And it's going to be Succession, obviously. Succession has won this the last 2 times for 2nd and 3rd season. The Crown has also won this previously. Unfortunately, Better Call Saul is never going to win a Outstanding Drama Series. That would have been nice if that was able to happen, but it's not going to happen. Succession is the pick. Succession is the best show of the year and one of the best shows of the last 10 years, one of the best shows of all time. Very deserving. You'll have The Last of Us back in the mix in the future, House of the Dragon back in the mix in the future, White Lotus back in the mix in the future. So, and The Crown's final season back in the mix too, and hopefully Andor season 2. So a lot of people can win again, but you're not being Succession, and I think that's how it should be. So going to drama actor, we have Jeff Bridges in The Old Man on FX, Brian Cox, Kieran Culkin, and Jeremy Strong on Succession, Bob Odenkirk, Better Call Saul, his final chance to win, and Pedro Pascal for The Last of Us. So previously you had Jeremy Strong win this once. And, I would love Odenkirk to get that recognition for Saul. That'd be really awesome, kind of reminiscent of how Matthew Rhys won for The Americans in the final go-around for that show at the Emmys. I would love to see it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we can write off Brian Cox for Succession, given it wasn't a full season performance. It was a smaller role this time around. Jeff Bridges for The Old Man, we can write that off. Then we can write off Pedro Pascal as well, but he will certainly be back, as we know, whereas 5 of these others will not be. So, or 4 of these others will not be, the Succession noms and Odenkirk. So Pascal, perhaps the favorite moving forward, in years to come. I think it's between Strong and Culkin. Kind of unsurprising. And I'm not sure where to go. I think the Strong performance is overall the best. He's already won once. This was the best Culkin season, the best Roman Roy season of Succession. And I think that might be the best choice, to be honest. And honestly, I think it's kind of the best outcome. It's a spreading of the wealth, but also Kieran Culkin, I think, will probably have the hardest time separating himself in his career moving forward past Roman Roy. So some recognition for his career best achievement with this and an amazing performance will be pretty well earned. Whereas Jeremy Strong is kind of like the pure thespian type he'll be back. He'll probably get nominated for an Oscar one day. We know the kind of actor he is, right? So I'll be rooting for Culkin, but I think it's between Culkin and Strong. Outstanding lead actress in a drama series, we have Sharon Hogan for Bad Sisters on Apple TV+, kind of an unexpected nom there. Melanie Linsky for Yellow Jackets, Elizabeth Moss for Handmaid's Tale, Bella Ramsey for Last of Us, Kerry Russell for The Diplomat on Netflix, and Sarah Snook for Succession. Previously, Elizabeth Moss won this way back for The Handmaid's Tale. Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of Sarah Snook in a walk for Succession. Her last chance to win for this. I mean, she's amazing as Shiv. We know this. Also, I think Sarah Snook might have some trouble, like Kieran Culkin, moving past Succession, so it'd be a nice way to win. Kerry Russell never won for the Americans. Maybe she'll get a kind of a quote makeup win with a Diplomat. Diplomat's coming back for a second season. Maybe that happens later. And Bella Ramsey on the younger side of things, but it wouldn't be completely out of nowhere. So that's kind of an interesting one, but I'm going to go with Sarah Snook. I think Succession's having a big night. And then supporting actor in a drama series, we have F. Murray Abraham, Michael Imperioli, Theo James, and Will Sharp for The White Lotus. And then we have Nicholas Braun, Matthew McFadden, and Alexander Skarsgård, and Alan Ruck for Succession. HBO getting all the nominations in the category, but it's split between only 2 series. I said this before when I reacted to the nominations. We need to change how the balloting works to avoid something like this. We want people to make decisions. You can't just pick the whole damn cast and throw them in supporting. It's stupid, it's lazy, and it hurts other shows. It's not good. Not all those people need to be nominated. Nevertheless, that's what happened. And I think this is Matthew McFadden, again, who previously won this last time around as Tom Wamsgams. An amazing performance, an amazing season once again. McFadden's really special. As Tom, he deserves it. And I think that's where it's going. Because frankly, you have all these White Lotus actors that I don't think any of them can rise above each other. They kind of cancel each other out. And yeah, I mean, do you really see Skarsgård or Ruck or Braun beating McFadden? I don't. You know, Culkin made a choice to run Best Actor this time around. So that was kind of clearing the decks for McFadden, you could say. Supporting actress in a drama series, slightly more diverse with shows. You have Jennifer Coolidge, Megan Fahey, Sabrina Impacciatori, and Simona Tabasco for The White Lotus. And then you have Elizabeth Debicki for The Crown, and Rhys Seehorn for Saul, and J. Smith Cameron for Succession. Fun mix here, I think. Again, I'm going to kind of write off everyone on The White Lotus with the exception of Jennifer Coolidge, who perhaps could pull through here. I haven't been the biggest fan of that character, the Tanya character on White Lotus, so wouldn't be my choice personally. Debicki has gotten so many plaudits for her portrayal of Princess Diana on The Crown, so I think that one's in the mix here. I'd love Rhys Seehorn to win for Saul. I mean, she took so long to get nominated for her performance as Kim Wexler, after all. Unfortunately, I don't see it happening, but that's what I really would love to see. And then J. Smith Cameron, you can't write off Jerry. You can write it off in Succession. You can't write off the actor's playing her, given the show that it's a part of. So this is a tough one to pin down. This probably is one of the hardest categories to predict. And this is hard. This is really tough. Man, I have a sneaking feeling it's going to be Coolidge for some reason. But I'm going to kind of go off the wall and say Debicki wins, but I'm probably wrong there. So let me know what you think about that category. I think that's probably the hardest one to pick. Let's go limited series then. So limited series, obviously, all of these series have not been nominated before because they're new. White Lotus previously won for limited series, but it's no longer one of those. It's now in drama series after all. And kind of looking at this, I think all these shows will remain limited series, to be honest. We have Beef on Netflix, Dahmer, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, and the Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, aka Dahmer, on Netflix. Weird name here. Daisy Jones and the Six on Amazon. Fleischman in Trouble on FX. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, Disney Plus. Did not see that one coming. To me, this is kind of between two. This is probably between Beef and Dahmer. Beef is the best choice. Beef should win. Beef is who I'm picking. Beef is who I want to win. But I wouldn't necessarily write off Netflix behind Dahmer. Dahmer was a massive show, after all. So we'll see. But I'm picking Beef. Now we have lead actor in a limited series or movie. You have Taron Egerton in Blackbird on Apple TV+, Kumail Nanjiani on Welcome to Chippendales on Hulu, Evan Peters on Dahmer, Daniel Radcliffe in the Weird Al Yankovic story movie on the Roku channel, Michael Shannon in George and Tammy on Showtime, and then Stephen Yeun in Beef on Netflix. And I'm going, I think, again, it's kind of a two-horse race. It's Beef versus Dahmer. It's Yeun versus Peters, where, once again, I'm picking Yeun. I think Yeun should win. Amazing performance as Danny on Beef, but I wouldn't rule out Evan Peters. And then let's go lead actress in a limited series or movie. We have Lizzie Kaplan for Fleischman in Trouble, Jessica Chastain for George and Tammy, Dominique Fishback for Swarm on Amazon, Kathryn Hahn for Tiny Beautiful Things on Hulu, Riley Keough for Daisy Jones and the Six, and Ali Wong for Beef. And yeah, I'm going Ali Wong for Beef. I don't think she has really too hard a competition. Honestly, I don't even know who the spoiler would be on this. I suppose the spoiler is probably Chastain for George and Tammy. Given Chastain, is an Emma Awards darling in the past. I don't know if Showtime has that kind of juice right now, given Showtime's basically going away as a series, as a network. So yeah, I'm going Ali Wong. I think she should win. Really impressive performance, given that she's been primarily a comedian to this point, but really showed us some dramatic chops with this. And then lastly, we have the supportings for limited. So supporting actor for limited series or movie. We have Murray Bartlett for Welcome to Chippendales, Paul Walter Hauser for Blackbird, Richard Jenkins for Dahmer, Joseph Lee for Beef, Young Mazzino for Beef, Ray Liotta for Blackbird, posthumous nomination, and Jesse Plemons for Love and Death. This one's pretty hard, but I think the pick is Paul Walter Hauser for Blackbird. To be honest, that was kind of the most celebrated performance on this list. I suppose Beef could have a big night, and one of Joseph Lee or Young Mazzino would win. I'd probably go with Young Mazzino as Paul, Danny's brother. That was a really kind of out of nowhere performance for me. But yeah, Paul Walter Hauser, he's kind of got a lot of love lately. Obviously, his performance in Richard Jewell, the movie, got a lot of attention. And yeah, I think Blackbird, kind of under the radar show, but Apple probably be able to get some minor hardware with this one. So I think that's well deserved. And then supporting actress, limited series or movie, we have Annalee Ashford for Welcome to Chippendales, Maria Bello for Beef, Claire Danes for Fleischman in Trouble, Juliette Lewis for Welcome to Chippendales, Camilla Marone for Daisy Jones and the Six, Niecy Nash for Dahmer, and Merritt Weaver for Tiny Beautiful Things. This is a tough category. I don't see a favorite per se. This is a really hard one to pin down. I guess just kind of going with my previous thoughts on the series category overall. I guess Niecy Nash for Dahmer is probably the pick here. Hard to say. Maria Bello has such a small performance in Beef, such a small role in Beef. It's hard for me to really have confidence with that one. You have a lot of people that have been nominated in the past here, right? Danes, Lewis, Weaver. Yeah, I'll go with Niecy Nash. It's a hard one, though. Let's also quickly look at Guest Actor, which is kind of an under-remarked upon category usually. I just want to highlight Guest Actor in a drama series because it's absolutely loaded like it usually is. You have Murray Bartlett, Nick Offerman for Last of Us. Remember that amazing one-off episode they shared. Also separately, you have Lamar Johnson and Kelvin Woodard for The Last of Us. And then we have returning favorites, James Cromwell and Arian Moayed for Succession. Loaded category. Not sure who I would pick here. I didn't even really research where people were thinking with this one. I would probably go with Nick Offerman for The Last of Us. That's what I would like to see. That was pretty awesome. Guest actor in a comedy series, always kind of slightly more boring category to me because you always have like an SNL guest nominee thrown in. This time around it's Pedro Pascal. We also have nominated Sam Richardson for Ted Lasso, Nathan Lane for Only Murders in the Building, John Bernthal for The Bear, Oliver Platt for The Bear, and Luke Kirby for Maisel. Luke Kirby, I believe, won in the past for his portrayal as Lenny Bruce. Love him in that role. He had a bigger guest role in season 4, after all. This is Bernthal, man. Bernthal in the season 1 finale of The Bear when we, as the dead brother of Carmy, man, super well deserved, and he might get nominated again for episode 6 for season 2 next year. So yeah, that'd be my pick there. But yeah, let me know how you're feeling about the 2024 Emmys. Who do you want to see take home the dub here? Who do you want to see win? And make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/nostalgiapod. Come back, I'll be reacting to who does in fact win once that happens. And of course, very soon we'll be doing Grammy predictions, Oscar predictions, awards season, always talking about it. And of course, for more movie reviews and TV reviews, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.